fly ball status. My chick is the baddest. I do fantastic things, just call me Mr. Fantastic. I'm a trendsetter, baby. Why you acting stupid? I see I'm...
What's going on? What's going on? Pace of one. Live and move at your own pace. We sitting here with Ty, health and wellness expert. She got a lot of types. She got a lot of things going on, so I'm gonna let her run it down, her name again, and all the things that she's into.
Thank you for having me.
No,
my
it's a
name
pleasure.
is Ty. My brand is represented through a multitude of companies within the health and wellness space. Time Out Massage Studios, Time Out Sculpting Institute, and then our product line is called Forever Jatame.
Wow, real life superwoman.
I'm trying to be, man.
So we in Women's Month.
We are.
So testament to you doing whatever you feel like you want to do, because that's what Pace of One is all about. Finding your pace, doing what it is that you feel like you need to do or want to do, believing in yourself. So why the health and wellness business for you, and how did it start?
Oh, it started in college, and I was going to University of Maryland. I had changed
Okay.
my major like 8 different times.
Wow.
Like changed, declared, changed again. It took me a second to find myself.
Okay.
And then I got into med school,
Okay.
interned, discovered I hated it and started to freak out. But by that point, I had dropped out of college 3 times.
Wow.
I had changed my major a million times. It took me 6.5 years to finish.
Okay.
And all that time I was chasing, I guess, money or success. I was
Right.
chasing what success looked like.
Right.
But it's funny is that when it's not true and you're not genuine to yourself, whatever you get to whatever you're chasing,
Right.
if it's not in alignment with your life path,
Right.
you're gonna still feel uncomfortable or unsatiated.
Absolutely.
So I freaked out, and my parents were,
Which we all do from time to time.
I took them on a wild journey, man. And they were like, "Oh, you're almost done. Here, just
Right.
go get a massage, and just think about it." And I did, and I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, this is dope. I'm gonna do this."
So from mom and dad telling you that,
Mhm.
you decided to go on and make it your business.
I realized that what I was chasing was happiness.
Okay.
And when I paused to disassociate from the expectations placed on me of what
Right.
that looked like,
Right.
what made me happy was helping people
Okay.
and showing people different various ways to return to a level of homeostasis and health.
Okay.
So massage was just a conduit for me to achieve my level of
There
happiness.
you go. So do mom and dad get 15%?
Mom and dad get whatever they want. Yo, mom and dad are some soldiers. I have put them through so much,
And that's a support system.
and they never stopped loving me.
All the people out there that got people that's doing business or trying to support them,
Don't give up on them.
don't.
It takes us a while to find ourselves. Just don't give up on them.
So mom and dad wasn't the only reason why you didn't give up, because you had to believe in yourself too.
Yo,
So-
that took longer though.
Right.
I know you talk to a lot of business owners, and like we'll tell you the stuff that we're supposed to say on
Right,
camera.
right.
But the real is that it takes a long time for us to decondition from the way that we were raised, the environments that we were in
Right.
that continue to feed us negative thoughts.
Right.
It came from other people believing in me before I started believing in me.
Right.
Like that took a long time. I
Right.
went through the motions because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Just like how you may show up personally with your representative.
Right.
We got our professional representatives.
Right.
And so my professional representative was on point, but I wasn't like there.
Inside you was shaking, you
Yeah.
was breaking down or whatever.
It's time for you to give a number. You got to
Right.
slide that quote across the table, and you slide it with a little hesitancy.
Right.
Because when you moving with big D energy and you know who you are, you know your value,
Right.
you know your worth.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah,
Right? No
you're right.
questions asked.
You're right. You're right.
It took a long time to get to that point where the stuff that I was saying, I had to start believing in
You
it.
have to.
And
Because it starts from you.
It do. You
Right.
teach people how to love you, how to
Right,
move
right.
around you. You teach people how to respect you professionally.
Right.
And so I started to believe in me way longer after
Right.
it was. People just never stopped loving me and never
Right.
stopped supporting me.
Right. That's what's up. And not to even like, I don't want to put your husband on blast, but it's another support system. Man, we gotta hold them down.
When you engage with a person that's a dreamer,
Right.
you don't love just them.
Right.
You gotta love all of them.
All of it. All of
Their hopes, their dreams, their flaws, their shortcomings, your highs, your lows. And I tell my family, my support system all the time, I am because of them.
Right.
You know, and so, and that extends to my husband. Like, my ideas become his. We be up in it. If I'm not sleeping, it's like, hey, what you doing? Can I run something by you real quick?
And that's how it be, but it's good to have a partner where you can throw those things back and forth at. Because they might not understand, we be going crazy sometimes as a business owner or something. Because sometimes you don't know if it's going to work out. You're nervous. So like, so what part of all that, I think you kind of went through it already, where you found like, I'm ready to give up, but I can't give up. I got to find my pace and get through it.
Yo, that's everybody's story is different. Right. And I don't give the storybook, fairy tale, happy ending. There wasn't times where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to give up. And no, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, yo, bump this.
You keeping it real, because a lot of people are saying they bring out the band and all that. Everything was good. Keep telling this story.
No, I was done. I've walked away or tried to walk away from, but it's different when you have an interest versus when it's a calling and it's a level of alignment. And you can get out of alignment with God all you want, because we have free will. Right. But you know, when he talking, you don't listen. He'll talk a little bit louder. And sometimes it was through positive stuff that caught my eye, that pulled me back in. I got introduced to and this was before influencer even had a term or a word. By me graduating from University of Maryland, and my major is in neuromolecular biomechanics. The kinesiology in the sports department. All the athletes were in my classes. So they became the homies. And if Maryland don't know how to do nothing else, they breed pros. So they went pro. I went to massage school. They the homies. I'm sister, and like, sis, I need you. And I'm like, I know, right?
That's what's up.
Eventually, athletes, they're going to wind up with a girlfriend, a side piece, a jump off, or all three. And when you have a level of money, you're not going to the gym every single day for real.
Absolutely.
You either going to have a gym inside your house, you're going to get your body done, you're going to do a mixture of all the above. So my name started to circle amongst the upper echelon, and I was integrated into a different side hustle that when you don't have to work really hard for something, you don't value it the same. Now I earn every dollar. Now I will hustle, and consistency will outbeat talent every day. Like nobody can. You're not gonna outwork me. You might be smarter than me. You might be cuter than me. You might be you might have a different coin than me. But I will catch up every time, because my hustle. I wanted more, but back then I didn't.
Y'all gotta want that right there every time. Feel that passion she got. Feel that passion. She gonna hustle. She gonna get it done.
Now, because I want it. One of my favorite, I didn't always have money to study underneath of the greats, but it doesn't mean that I wasn't studying the greats. So Charles Thomas, the hip hop preacher, he, I was studying him. I was studying the things he would say. I was studying how he would move. And one of his favorite, what made him famous is when you wanna succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful. I wanted it better than anything else, but back then I was playing with it because it was given to me. I didn't have to work at it. I was talented, and I was, right circle, right place, right time. And those clients, they started to build up. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom, I lost everything. I actually fell on homelessness. I slept in a car with my son. He's now 16. We had some hard times, and I was like, yo, God, I know you made me for more than this. Order my steps and I'll follow. And certain connections, when I came, and I think sometimes people treat God like a genie. He's not like a little he's not out here granting wishes. The word is given, and it's a guidebook. If you choose to follow it, you can. And if people aren't spiritually aligned with God, there's we're not, operating in autonomy. So your higher source and your higher power is meant to guide you. Not cover you and make sure things don't happen. But as I moved further into alignment of who I wanted to be and who I was supposed to be, opportunities started opening up. So when I was quitting, literally I was in a client's basement, and I was telling them, I was like, this is too much. I was like, I can't do this no more. I don't want it.
You ready for this?
My phone started blowing up, and it was my assistant. And I was in the middle of having my breakdown. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm having a calm in the Jesus moment with my client, telling him that I don't want to do this no more. So the next thing I know, his phone starts ringing and blowing up. Because she knew where I was. And he was like, it's for you. And I was like, okay, what's up? She was like, yo, chick, Rick Ross, his assistant, is looking for a therapist, and your name kept floating around around circles. As I'm telling him I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Where you need me to be? Thank you, God. Can we just go ahead and like undo that last like 30 minutes?
Let's rewind a little bit.
I believe that you get what you need when you need it in the season you need it.
Right.
People will commit to change. They don't commit till change. And I put my heart out there so much. I feel like God knew my heart.
Right.
I feel like whatever you put out into the universe is what's going to grow and manifest.
Right.
So things started to unfold, but I walked away and I quit several times. I was like, I got a degree. I don't need this.
and that's the, like, pace of one, no matter what you're going through in life, good, bad, or ugly, you take a deep breath and move at your own pace.
Yeah.
That's you. Being homeless and all, that's you. Giving up.
Sometimes you'll take some steps back to be able to continue to move forward, and maybe there were some lessons that you missed. And so if anything else that I can impart upon someone is pause and look for the lesson.
Right.
Anything that you're moving with, you've put this out into the universe, and the universe is just responding to you.
There you go.
You ever sit down and talk to a therapist?
I never talked to a therapist.
Well, you know, people, they be like laid down on the couch and I'm like, yeah, doc. So it started when I was 2 years old, right? Who's doing all the work?
It will be you.
When you you read a self-help book,
right?
Who's doing? You paid the money. They wrote they laid the logic. Right. Who's doing all the work?
It will be you, right? Reading it.
Yeah. Right. Your mama coming, she's scolding you. She's telling you what you get it together. But who getting it together?
You.
We're our cause and our cure. Everything we need is already inside of us. And sometimes the answer may be no, because you don't need anything else.
Right.
You're surrounded. And then why would you ever be dignified with more if you're not utilizing what you already have?
Right.
So I became a master hustler. I learned how to make mountains out of millstones. I learned how to take 10 cents and stretch it into $10. I'm not lying to you. I humbled myself at a gas station and I had no money to my name, but I believed in myself, and I was putting my last in my tank, and I emptied out my piggy bank, and I'm at the counter with tears, and there's a line coming behind me, but my pride wouldn't let me stop. I'm gonna put this $10 in dimes and make it happen. And I got from one contract to the next as opportunities started to unfold, because I never gave up on me, whether it was because of me or the people around me.
It start from you.
It do. You're the one who has to do the work. There's no magic pill. There's nobody who's gonna sit down and be like, all right, so this is what you need to do.
Right.
You ever want God to just come down and be like, hey, homie, just tell me what to do.
And God don't bless nobody who sits still. You gotta work. You gotta put the work.
Faith without works is dead. And I meet people that have a duality, but they're so unbalanced, where you got all the faith in the world and you just doing a little bit of work, and that work is you praying to God, asking for him to get to you. Or people be doing all the work and they moving without him.
Right.
You gotta allow him to lead you. If you look at a car, a vehicle, something that's moving and taking you somewhere, there's only one driver's seat.
You're right. There's a lot of young boys, girls that's gonna listen to your words and they're gonna be inspired. And that's what this is for.
I hope that it touches somebody in some capacity, because my story was never shared. You know, it takes 10,000 hours or 10 years to become an overnight success. And during that time frame, people will glorify the end result and they'll talk about where they started from. But that middle part is all gray. It's lonely walk. You got to keep going and not losing faith. And like, I know you didn't give me this wisdom and this vision without giving me some trajectory. I'll pause sometimes if maybe I left God, or maybe I'm walking too fast, or maybe I missed something. But I like to share the real side of it.
Have to every time.
The 10,000 hours shooting in the gym side of it.
There you go.
You don't hear that anywhere else.
You're right. So now, well, everything that you've been through, do you feel like you found your pace? And now it's going this way now?
It's not linear. It's like a stock market. If you look at the little ticker, sometimes it's woo! But then when you take a step back and you look at the big picture, everything is up.
Because ain't no the L's is not losses. They're learning lessons.
They're lessons.
So you had got a lot of lessons.
I did.
That probably you look back on it. Okay, that's why I went through that.
You remember, I could be dating myself just a little bit, because I was singing to somebody the other day and they were like, who's Barney? And I was like, seriously? But you remember that looking in my Barney bag and I found a lot of things. Everything I'm picking up and I'm throwing in my bag, and it's life lessons that I can build foundations and platforms off of and continue to grow. And across my path, I'll meet somebody and they didn't have that same cultivating, right? And so maybe I see them having a weak moment and I'm like, oh wait, hold on, I got something for that. Boom, there you go. And I believe your pain should have a purpose. So if I'm gonna survive something, as that thing is coming out, it has a dollar sign on it, because I'm confident now. I know who I am now.
So what would you say to any young lady, any young boy, whether it's personal, business, what would your advice be to them?
You gotta set boundaries.
Okay.
My advice would be to set boundaries, personal and professional. And while you're setting those boundaries, learn your triggers so you know when to set them.
Okay.
I'm a overgiver. I don't, there's no off button. It's either full throttle or who sent you? There's no in between. So when you set those boundaries and you start to communicate from a place of authenticity and you're showing people how to love you, you'll be able to focus on fixing the holes in your foundation. Everybody want to get in the boat and go, but then as the boat starts to plug or spring holes, we're not pausing to plug them. So setting boundaries, it will develop a level of discipline and focusing on the basics. Getting back to the basics of, you ever listen to a motivational speaker, or you go pay for a class, or you go to a seminar, and the stuff they're talking about, I'm like, did I just pay $300 for you to tell me I need to start making my bed? Yo, but that's the real.
You're right.
When you're good at one thing, it transcends and translates into other aspects of business, and you get better at that.
Before we close out, when I just met you, you said you was doing some other things. What would you say you was doing?
My career has continued to evolve, and I've started to move and flow like water. And so I've become a scientist. I've gotten into quantum physics. And microcellular circuitry. It's not enough for me to know that things work. I want to know how. I want to know the why. And I started following my little Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole, and it led me into cellular microbiology and wanting to know on a metabolic level how and why things do what they do.
Women's Month. We got to shout them out, and it just can't be this month. It's for the rest of your life and all that other good stuff.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a life, right. So, say your name again, your businesses, where they can find you.
If you're looking for me, you can find me on timeout.com, TAIMEOUT.com. Instagram handles are Timeout Massage. You can follow the journey, perfectly.thai on Instagram. And then our school, we started a new medical industry to have a space for providers to learn safely as we build out the regulation around our budding industry in the beauty aesthetics altering space. You can find our school at thetozymethod.com.
Wow. I can't even say nothing else. Pace of One is start from you, your pace, your way. Go to paceof1.com, go get your hats, your sweatsuits, and all that good stuff. Can't even say nothing else.
Catch you this inspiring vibe.
It was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure interviewing you. We hope we spark somebody out there.
Likewise.
Paceof1.com.